Remember, if you're not paying for the AI, if you're using it for free, you're the product, and so is your data. How do you go through and make sure that you've established expectations around this? What will you allow? What will you not allow? And I want you to establish this immediately. When you leave this call, I'm going to give you one thing that you can go do, and I want you to go through and take advantage of it. Some of the people you work with may not want their data used for AI training. In fact, some larger contracts specifically call out no AI. We're talking contracts, vendors, and we're also talking customer expectations. These are assumptions that your customers have, and ultimately they're hitting promises that you're making right now. So what is the first step? Like, where do you start this all out? And the answer is you implement an acceptable use policy. But this is a special acceptable use policy. It's not the normal one that you might have in your organization. It's an AI acceptable use policy. That worksheet will give you some questions. It's going to ask you a few things like what's okay and what's not okay inside your organization. And this can be used to build out a very simple acceptable use policy. And you're going to customize this depending on the preferences of your organization. Are generative AI apps and services allowed or prohibited? You're just going to answer that question. If allowed, which ones are officially endorsed, or which ones do you have accounts purchased on? Remember, if you're not paying for the AI, if you're using it for free, you're the product, and so is your data. So in that case, you're going to want to be very cautious and make sure that you're clear that they're only allowed to use specific tools that you've endorsed and paid for, so that your data isn't training the model that's being used for everything else. Next, who in your organization is responsible for approving use of AI? Who in the organization is responsible for implementation of AI? And what is considered acceptable or unacceptable use? And you're going to want to get signatures from your team that they understand it and create evidence that you have this in place.